There is Bruce Springsteen with Darlington County. And we head down to Darlington County to welcome in Josh Harris, the president of Darlington Raceway, as we check in with Josh about all that has happened in the past week in the world of NASCAR, especially the Cup Series, and what to expect coming up. And of course, we'll ask Josh about how excited he is for the next race, the upcoming race at Darlington, the Crown Jewel in the second half of the Cup season. All right, Josh, welcome back to Sports Talk. Thanks so much for spending some time with us.
Yeah, glad to be here tonight. Thanks for having me on.
Well, Josh, look, I'm going to be the voice of the fan briefly, and I don't know how often you talk to particular television executives, but there was something happened at the end of the Nashville race where, due to the delay, they had to finish the race on the USA Network because NBC was carrying some Olympic trials, and they couldn't really shift that around. I know you feel for the fans because some of them don't get the USA Network, or even just the fact that they're switching networks at all is so interesting. How often do you get insight into what the television networks are thinking, and you on the NASCAR side and the track side, how much input do you get about, not necessarily that move, but just the right way to do this and make sure that you give fans the best experience on television and the track?
Yeah, it's certainly a complicated piece, a number of pieces that go into that puzzle. And I would say, within NASCAR and within our business, we have some people that, that is their job full time, is to work with the networks and represent our interests at the track and as a sanctioning body and work collaboratively on all of those things. And it's always unfortunate when we get into a weather delay situation and they have to make some tough calls. But I know going into the Nashville weekend specifically, that race was a evening start race last year, some due to the high temperatures there. It was hot on Sunday, but with the Olympic trials and all of that coverage being a major focus for NBC this summer, they kind of had a hard window. And I would say this, USA Network is the network that we run a lot of our races on for NBC when they're not on the big broadcast network. So it's a channel that, while not free over the air like NBC, it is more common for most people to have somewhat of an inconvenience if you step away and you come back and it's not there. May have to do a little searching. So I always feel for the fans watching at home when those things happen. No one wants them to happen, but sometimes there is a priority of programming, and the Olympics are such a, once every 4 years, and the trials are a big part of it. So I think it's just, one of those unfortunate things that happens.
Well, it's certainly, it's something that NASCAR, of course, you go up against football sometimes, and especially in the second half of the schedule, and so you have to switch networks. So I know the fans are used to switching around and hopping a little bit, but I just wanted to get your take on that one in particular. Of course, as you said, the Olympics just come across every 4 years, and it just so happened it also rained in Nashville. What are you going to do? Now, the Cup Series heads to Chicago. And the biggest story, I think, coming up is that Joey Logano is going to replace Hailie Deegan in the Xfinity Series race at the Chicago Street Course. So they're already switching drivers. Now, that's in the Xfinity Series, but what is your take on the way this race is handled? Because it kind of is unique, and it gives you something, I suppose, to look forward to in the midst of the schedule, and something different for your NASCAR viewers. So what's your personal take on it? Obviously, it's not exactly like something we all would have grown up with, but is it growing on the NASCAR fan?
Yeah, I think two parts to there. The first part on Joey replacing Hailie, I think that's just a matter of, that team, there's no doubt they've struggled a little this year, and if you look at Haley's, results on some of the road courses, they just haven't been as good. And I think this is a chance for their organization just to put an experienced driver in and see what kind of feedback they can get. So hate to see that for Haley, but I know Joey will do a good job. And then just overall on the Chicago street race, we run road courses. We run more road courses now on the schedule than we have in a number of years. So the Chicago street race is a road course, but it's also very unique, and it's only the second time ever that the Cup Series has run on a street course. So I happened to be there last year to help out the team and get to see it up close, and it's such a unique setting, such a unique environment to be in. I'm certainly hoping that they get much better weather than they got last year for the inaugural event, which had some unprecedented rains in downtown Chicago that really interrupted not only the racing, but all the other fan experience. They got multiple concerts going on around the track layout, and it's just a big event. And I think it's cool for NASCAR to do these. This is not every week we're doing this, and I think it helps take our sport into a little bit of a different market, expose it to maybe a little different audience, but still has that Cup Series elite racing that we're used to, and we get to be in a downtown setting. So I think this really helps us in evaluating what our future options are for going into markets that may not have a purpose-built oval or a purpose-built race course, around, and we can still put on a show for the fans in that area. So I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to seeing it, watching it from home this weekend, and hopefully, like I said, they get a little bit better weather this year.
Something that has happened, Josh, or I guess hasn't happened, something that I think NASCAR did this intentionally, and that is the way you just have so many different names in the winner's circle. And that's been all throughout this season, all throughout last season. And I would just ask you, how did NASCAR receive that? And I think they, obviously they're not, quote, rigging it to do that, but I think they must be satisfied with the fact that you're not getting the same four names, right, in the winner's circle consistently. There's a lot of drivers that are handling these courses, and you've got the crew chiefs are doing a great job of setting up cars, and you've got a different winner every single week. And so it's one of those things the viewer has to watch, because you don't know. Just in the past 3 weeks, it's been Logano, Bell, Blaney. Previous to that was Larson. So that's just the way this season is going, and last season as well. So I would just ask, what do you think NASCAR's reaction is to that?
Well, I think it's no secret that the next-gen car has really brought some parity to the Cup Series, and we're seeing a lot of different winners. These past 2.5 seasons, we're 19 races in, we've got 11 winners, and to me, you kind of got two separate groups within that. You've got several drivers: Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, and William Byron, who all have won three or more times this season, and then you've got a lot of guys that have won once. So there are a couple of guys maybe separating themselves or had separated themselves a little bit earlier in the year, and now you're starting to see a few different winners. So I think it's exciting. It truly, to your point, like, you don't know who's going to win. And every driver has a chance. And as I look forward to Darlington being the regular season cutoff race for the Cup Series, that last chance to lock into the playoffs, that gets me excited, because you talk a lot about a lot of drivers have a chance to win, but the proof is there over the last few seasons and so far this season that statement's true. And so we go into that Darlington race, the 75th Cookout Southern 500, and so many guys will have a chance to take that victory and lock themselves into the playoffs. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, and Josh Harris joining us, Darlington Raceway president. How are ticket sales going at Darlington? And if someone's looking for tickets, how can they get them?
Well, we've had 3 consecutive sellouts, 3 years in a row for the Cookout Southern 500, and we're well on our way to the 4th. So, we still got some good seats available, but every day that passes, somebody else is buying the best ones we got. So I would encourage all our fans out there, what better place to spend Sunday of Labor Day weekend? You got a holiday on Monday. It will start at 6 o'clock. So tickets are available at darlingtonraceway.com, or you can call and talk to one of our agents. They can get you hooked up with a great ticket package, whether you're a family, coming out with some friends. We've got all kinds of ticket specials, pre-race experience, give us a call at 866-459-7223.
Yeah, Josh, Nashville was exciting, but you mentioned as you look ahead, consider this. Last week in August is going to be Daytona, then Darlington, then you cut it to 16 and you go to Atlanta. How about that 3-week stretch?
Man, you can't ask for, more drama, more intensity, and phenomenal racing. Daytona, the World Center of Racing is going to put on a great show for the Coke Zero Sugar 400 leading into Darlington, setting us up for that regular season finale. And then they're going to go right back up I-20 a little bit towards Atlanta. And, they had one of the closest finishes all season earlier this year, 3 wide at the line with Daniel Suarez winning. So, if you're a race fan, those are 3 races that everybody should be looking forward to. And I would say if you can get to all 3 of them, get to them. If you can only get to one, get to
Darlington. That's the line. That's the 10-word answer we were looking for. Josh, thanks so much. We'll check in with you again next week, and enjoy the Chicago race this weekend.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.